Hello everyone. Today we are going to continue with the previous video, that is nesting versus transformation. Today we are going to specifically discuss about nesting. Let us understand nesting in more detail. So today the screen which I am presenting on the video, I am going to take few of the examples where we can understand nesting in a more better way. Before starting, let me explain what a nesting is. Nesting is putting one of the object or structured values of Power Query into another object without changing the underlying object. That is, suppose if I want to put a table object into a list without changing the table object, just I am putting the table object into another object, that is a list. So that is known as nesting. Now let us see practically how we can do that. So today I am not going to take any example where we can understand how to automate using nesting. Today the main objective of this video is to explain you the concept of nesting. So the first example is how we can put a table into a list. If my Power Query function requires me to put a table into a list, then how we can do that? That we are understanding. So right now I'm having a table. I will create another step. And if, as all you know, that to initiate a list, we need a curly braces. And if I put that table name inside these curly braces, what I will get is my table inside the list. Note that I have not made any changes to that table. What I did is only that I have lifted that table and put that into the list object. So this is the example of table in a list. Let me explain you, if my Power Query function requires me to put a table into a record, then how we can do that? So right now, again on the screen, there is a table object. I will create a next step. And as you all know, to initiate object, we need to initiate it in a square brackets. And also you know that a record has minimum two things. One is the header and the header value. So just I am putting a dummy header name as say column1, and then I'm putting that table object as a value of that column1. And now you see my particular that table object is now into a record. Also, please note that I have not made any changes to that table object. What I did here is that I picked that table object and inserted into the record object. Now we will understand how to create a list in a table object. But the question comes, where we will create a list in a table. So we can create a list in a table object in a new column. So what I can do, I can create a custom column, and all you know that for initiating a list, we need to initiate it into a curly braces. So what I'm going to do that say I'm creating a hard coded list values from 1 to 10, and the column name will be say column containing list. And if I click OK, now in my existing table, I am having a column, and in that column, the values which is appearing are lists. Now let us see how to create a record into a list object. So as all you know, to initiate a list, we need to initiate into a curly braces. And for initiating a record, we need to initiate into a square brackets. And into the square brackets, we need to give two minimum things. One is the column name, and another is the value of that column. So I can just give my values as, sorry, I need to put a list into a record. So for that, I need to first initiate a record, and my record header is say column one, and that column one will have the values, which is a list value. And say I just need to have 1 to 10 values inside the list. So now what I am having is a record, and in that record, I am having a list. Now, another example which we are going to take here is that how to create a record within a list. So for initiating a list, I need to initiate into the curly braces, and for having the record, I need to have a column name, and say the column value is say A. So within a record now, within a list, I am now having a record. Now, next example, what we are going to see, how to create a record within a table. So for creating a record in a table, again, we need to create that record into a new column. So for that, let's add a custom column, and I will name that column name as a column containing record. For the time being, I will create a record manually, and for initiating the record, we need to have the record into a square bracket, and it will have column name or header name, and it will have its own value. And now if I click in this table, I am having a new column, and in the new column, what values are appearing is a record. So today in this video, what we have learned that how to nest different objects within another objects, like how to put a table into a list, how to put a table into a record, how to create lists within a table, how to create a list within a record, how to create a record within a list, and how to create records within a table, so on and so forth. Please note that whatever examples we have taken are just to understand the concept of nesting. They are not useful within themselves, like it will not give you some kind of automation, but it is going to explain you what a nesting is. And in coming days, when we are going to use some of the Power Query functions, it will require us the object within another object, so that we have an understanding of providing those particular inputs accordingly to the Power Query function. Thanks for watching.